All right, so we're on our last talk about vertebrates. We have birds and mammals to talk about still. One thing I want to start with is terms that I've been using: oviparous, ovoviparous, and viviparous. And what we have about these terms is oviparous lay eggs in a protective pouch. So they're animals that are going to lay eggs, but they don't retain the eggs within them. Ovoviparous are going to have the eggs retained without a placenta. So the egg is retained inside the female, but they do not have a placenta. And then you have viviparous. Eggs are in the uterus with a placenta. Okay? The last two are going to give birth to live young. So ovoviparous and viviparous are going to give birth to live young, whereas oviparous lay eggs, and those eggs then give birth to young. Okay, so the egg that comes out is not going to be, the young is not ready to be born in that one yet. So now we're talking about birds. Only birds have feathers. Arose from reptilian ancestors. Feathers are highly modified reptilian scales. They have modified wing forelimbs, hind limbs for various activities, keratinized beak, lay eggs. Only fish have more diversity in their species. Respiratory system will be different to meet the high demands of oxygen for flight and to cool the body down. Bones are rigid but need to be lighter. Lighter bones means less weight carried for flight. Digestion and circulation must meet the high energy demands of flight. The nervous system is enhanced. They have an excellent sensory system used during flight. Birds and reptiles have a lot of similarities. Both have a skull that joins the first neck vertebrae on a single occipital condyle, which is a bony knob. Mammals have two. Birds and reptiles both only have one occipital condyle. Single middle ear bone for both. The lower jaw has 5 or 6 bones for both, and nitrogenous waste for both. And mammals only excrete urea, so the waste is different. So you have your large flightless birds, which have a keeled sternum, right, a breastbone. Those are the ostrich and the emu. Because they don't fly, they have adapted to run fast to avoid predators. All right. And then you have the flying birds, which are obviously going to fly and use that to evade predators. Okay. So they have an amniotic egg, like birds, like reptiles, birds produce an amniotic egg. Inside the egg, the embryo is enclosed in a membrane called the amnion, and the amnion protects the embryo from drying out. As we said, they have some adaptations for flight. They have a 4-chambered heart, highly efficient respiratory system, lightweight bones with air spaces, and powerful muscles attached to the keel in the sternum. So feathers are dead structures made up of keratin. So molting, a complete molt is when all the feathers are replaced. New feathers grow under the old ones to push them out. Old feathers don't fall out until the new ones replace them. A partial molt is when only some feathers are replaced. All right. Some birds have 2 molts per year, and they occur in harsh environments. The bones are called pneumatic, meaning they have hollow spaces. It allows for a firm but light skeleton. So they have these air sacs in them. All right. And that allows them to have a lot of the lightness so they can fly better. Okay. So now we're going to move on to mammals. Okay. Hair is a big thing. Mammals have hair, mammary glands, distinctive teeth, highly developed brain, and extended care for their young. So specialized teeth and jaws, more specialized advanced nervous system, and some domesticated species. Okay, so if we go through and we look at them, mammalian origins, 200 million years ago during the Triassic, synapses gave rise to therapsids. Therapsids were the reptilian ancestors of mammals. The first mammals had evolved by the Jurassic. So we see the therapsids right here. Here's a picture of what therapsids would have looked like. And those gave rise to the early mammals. So your mammalian lineages, monotremes are your egg-laying mammals, your duck-billed platypus, and your echidna are going to be your monotremes. They still lay eggs, so that's our mammalian link to reptiles. You have your marsupials, which like a kangaroo. If you've ever seen a kangaroo birth a joey, baby kangaroo, it comes out and it looks like a little slug, and it crawls up into the pouch and attaches to a little teat that the mother has and survives in there. And the placentals, okay, which we are very common. We go through placentals are the most common type of mammal. So living monotremes, duck-billed platypus, two kinds of spiny anteater. So it's, echidnas in that, and they all lay eggs. Marsupial, of the 260 species, most of the 260 species are native to Australia. Only the possums are found in North America, and young are born in an underdeveloped state in complete development in a permanent pouch on the mother. So placentals, most diverse group. Young develop in the mother's uterus. Placenta, composed of maternal and fetal tissues, nourishes the fetus, delivers oxygen, and removes waste. Placental mammals develop more quickly than marsupials. Okay, so we see right there, here's what a placenta looks like. You see the placenta is almost as big as the baby, obviously not as, has as much size, but it's almost like a little, meeting the same size in terms of length. Delivers a lot of oxygen, delivers nutrients to the baby, attaches through the umbilical cord. The earliest primates evolved more than 60 million years ago during the Paleocene. First primates resembled tree shrews. They had long snouts, poor daytime vision. Trends in lineage leading to humans, less reliance on smell, more on vision. Skeletal changes allowed for bipedalism. Modifications of hand allowed for refined hand movements. Bone-shaped jaw and smaller teeth. Longer lifespan and a period of dependency. Okay, so we have a longer lifespan, but we have a long period of dependency on parents. So during the Eocene, certain primates became adapted to life in trees, better daytime vision, shorter snout, larger brain, forward-directed eyes, capacity for grasping motions. The first hominids, lived 4.4 million years ago in Africa, more ape-like than human. Numerous Australopiths evolved during the next 2 million years. Large face, protruding jaw, small skull, walked upright. So Australopiths, we have different species, how they arose. All three were small. Species that later arose had heavier builds. Exact family tree is not known. So humans arising here. First member of the genus Homo is Homo habilis. Lived in woods during the late Miocene. So you see that Homo habilis does not, while it's starting to look more human-like, still does not meet what we would describe as human. Homo erectus evolved in Africa, migrated to Europe and Asia about 1.5 to 2 million years ago. Had a larger brain than Homo habilis. Was a creative toolmaker, built fires, and used furs for clothing. And we see right here, so that was kind of what we would describe as cavemen, would be the Homo erectus, is what we describe them. And then Homo sapiens evolved by 100,000 years ago. Smaller teeth and jaws than Homo erectus. Facial bones were smaller, skull is larger. Okay, Homo Neanderthalensis, early humans that lived in Europe and Near East, massive built, large brains, and disappeared when Homo sapiens appeared. DNA evidence suggests that they did not contribute to modern European populations, but there is also some evidence that there is some still Neanderthal, there. So there was some crossbreeding between Homo neanderthalis and Homo sapiens. They're more our cousin than they are they're our cousin, not our ancestor. So the out of Africa theory suggests that Homo sapiens arose in sub-Saharan Africa. Homo sapiens migrated out of Africa into regions where Homo erectus had preceded them, and only after leaving Africa did phenotypic differences among the races arise. All right.